Welcome all, and thank you for attending this first K-Kids District Administrator Chat of the 2024-25 school year. We're so excited to have you with us. I have met most of you, but let me just introduce myself. I'm Luana Nissan, the Service Leadership Programs Manager for K-Kids Builders Club and Action Club.
And I'm Lisa Pyron, and I work with Luana, and I'm Development Specialist, and I work with K-Kids Builders Club and Action Club as well.
And it looks like we have Michelle Shilton with us as well. So Michelle, maybe you want to introduce yourself.
So Michelle Shilton, I am the program director for Kiwanis Youth Programs. So I get to work with all 5 of our club lines, which include K-Kids Builders and Action Club. So good to see you all tonight.
For today, and we're excited. We're excited to follow up tomorrow with an email that will have links to all of the resources, event registrations that we talk about in our updates, and a new district administrator checklist, which is our main topic that we'll cover today. So why don't we go ahead and get started? So what's new? First, we have news about this year's events and program updates to share. We sent an email on August 5th, with the list of district administrator chats happening this year. We also, in the K-Kids newsletter that was emailed on August 21st, there was a complete listing of advisor and club events and deadlines for the year. So you may want to download, copy those to your calendar, and so that you can share them. If you didn't receive that, the newsletter or the email, please let us know by emailing us or putting your information in the chat so we can help resolve that issue. So here are a few of the upcoming events. Please promote them to your clubs. The K-Kids member surveys are open through September 30th. These surveys help our staff learn important information about clubs that will help inform our decisions and the resources that we provide. For example, we learn what members care about, what causes they care about, what they learn in clubs, details about club life, like the size of clubs, how much service they do, and the types of projects that they do. And also we learn about the effectiveness of the resources that we provide. The first K-Kids Advisor Chat is coming up. It's called Starting Strong, an Advisors Checklist, happening on September 17th at 7 p.m. And all of our times are in Eastern time zone. So when you pass on that information, please emphasize that with your advisors. Every now and then, folks join at the wrong time. And then Global Kickoff 2024 will happen for K-Kids and Builders Clubs on Friday, September 27th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So it will happen during the school day for many clubs. We'll share this year's Global Service Project during that event, information about how to do it, and registration for the kickoff. And so we encourage your clubs to participate. We have a number of clubs that are signed up for that. We also have a youth protection session happening for K-12 SLPs during Kiwanis Youth Protection Week on October 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So please encourage your advisors and Kiwanis chaperones to participate. And if you would like a longer session, though we will be covering youth protection today at the end of our meeting, if you like a longer session, please do attend yourselves. Encourage your clubs to join Circle K clubs this year to fundraise for Trick or Treat for UNICEF between October 1st and December 31st. Donations that are raised by Circle K and K Kids will go to Brick by Brick. That is Circle K's project to create a woman-led recycling market that converts plastic waste into safe and durable bricks that will be used to build classrooms. The project is supported by UNICEF as part of its efforts to build a sustainable future through education and empowerment in Côte d'Ivoire in West Africa. This year, clubs will be excited because they can order UNICEF collection boxes from Kiwanis International. They will only need to pay for the shipping cost. These can be ordered on the Kiwanis Family Store website starting in mid-September. So the reason that you may be here is so that we can kind of focus on what your responsibilities are and give you some thoughts about what activities you can focus on at different times of the year. So as a district administrator, you're really the person responsible for providing effective leadership, promotion, and administration on behalf of the K-Kids program in your Kiwanis district. There are 5 areas of responsibility for district administrators, and they are club support, opening new clubs, ambassadorship, being a liaison with Kiwanis International, and then committee leadership.
And I'll step in here. There is basically to help you keep track of the many activities that will fall under the 5 responsibilities, we've created a new draft administrator checklist. We will send this to you by email and post it on the district administrator page of the K-Kids website. The checklist has recommendations for when during the year to accomplish each task. Some are ongoing activities, while others might be completed once or twice a year. One responsibility of district administrators is club support. So offering regular communication and support to Kiwanis advisors and faculty advisors in the district. Find ways to recognize and help them do their best work. There are 2 main activities to accomplish to support K-Kids clubs in your district. First, around the beginning of the school year, communicate with them or hold a virtual meeting for faculty and Kiwanis advisors. This will help them get a good start to the service year. Some of the things to share include encourage Kiwanis and faculty advisors to meet and determine each advisor's responsibilities. Review the contents of the club program kit and kkids.org website. Encourage advisors to use the advisor's guides. There's a quick start guide for planning, and to keep up with the club tasks throughout the year, they should review this. Review the annual achievement report and encourage advisors to have clubs complete listed activities and submit the report for award consideration. Share the year's schedule of advisor chats and events and encourage their participation. Encourage new advisors to complete the Service Leadership Program's 101 training course that will be available soon. This brief course is a good introduction to Kiwanis. Also, explain how Kiwanis youth protection policies apply to faculty advisors and club chaperones. The second club support activity is to communicate with your advisors several times a year with event and deadline reminders. You can also offer information or training around service leadership related topics. Use emails, newsletters, or virtual meetings for communication. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts about club support?
Me.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone. Gina Delisle from the New England and Bermuda District. I heard you just say that we should also include our faculty advisors on updates. So my question is that my responsibility to write to the Kiwanis advisors in my district and have them send me the faculty advisor names, or is there an easier way to go about and do that?
Well, you can request a report from us, and we should be able to give you updated information about faculty advisors in your district. And you also, it may be available as well through the district secretary at the district level. So
Okay.
that's probably the easier route to go.
Perfect.
And actually, Gina, if you go into Personify,
Okay.
you can look up your club and there's a choice for relationships, and that's everyone connected to that club. So it will show you who the faculty advisor is and who the Kiwanis advisor is, and also what the supporting sponsoring Kiwanis club name is.
Okay, well, I know I get that list from Jenny, but Jenny's
Mhm.
list, I believe, just has the Kiwanis advisors and not faculty advisors.
Yeah, we highly encourage you to communicate with the faculty advisors. They are the main
Okay.
contact and the main person that, the main person that works with the students.
Right, well, I know like my club, my person that's in charge of SOP sends me all that information, so I have it for like the Westfield Club. It's just the other clubs in the district that I was wondering, so that I can get the faculty advisors' names to them. I always email, as you know, the Kiwanis advisors, but I have not, to be honest, kept in touch with the faculty advisors, so that's why I'm asking the question.
Oh.
Yeah, they are the key person to keep in
Okay.
touch with.
Sometimes our emails don't get through. They get blocked with some school districts.
Mhm.
So this is Becky talking. So
Okay.
I would advise that if you can't contact your faculty advisor, then connect with your Kiwanis advisor. If you can't connect with them, go to the club secretary.
Perfect. Thank
Yep.
you.
We highly suggest you reach out to both advisors because it really varies on the role of the Kiwanis advisor varies from club to club. Some are highly
Right.
involved and they're there all the time, just like the faculty advisor is. Some
Yeah.
do not attend all the meetings, so it really does vary. But we communicate with both whenever we communicate with faculty advisors. I think Michelle, you might have had your hand up.
Which one of us?
Michelle Hoffman.
Me.
Oh,
Judy Campbell.
Sorry.
Sorry, God.
I knew it was both of us. I wasn't sure which one you wanted to go first. So in Kiwanis Connect, when we do our reporting as administrators, we get the list of all of the faculty advisors as well as the Kiwanis advisors. From this conversation, is that not going to be accessible to us any longer?
No, it should be accessible.
Okay. And then my second question is, I think last year we updated that maybe one time, like the email list at a certain point in time, it was kind of frozen, and then we had to figure out how to contact people when we were adding new clubs. So is that going to be the case again this year? What's the cutoff date where we need to start emailing you people to add to the email list?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Are you talking about contact information for your advisors? Are you talking about new clubs?
So I just had a new club that started yesterday, I think, and then I've got two more that are coming.
Wow.
And for the newsletters, like the newsletters you guys send out and the information, that your little contact list that you use was frozen at some point in time last year. I want to say it was in September. And so if we added clubs after that, we had to contact you to get them added to the list. They get the communications. I was just wondering if you know when that deadline might be.
Well, I'm assuming, go ahead.
I think that happened because we switched the
switched the email.
platforms that we use for mailing out newsletters. And so I think that's probably why that happened. But if you just make sure that when you're submitting, if you know who the Kiwanis and faculty advisors are when you're submitting charter information, then I think that Quan Pinson will get that information into the system. But CC us on everything on those questions, Michelle, if you reach out by email so that we can just double check.
Okay, perfect. Thank
And
you.
member services can be contacted by any advisor or administrator if you're not getting communications, and they work with the communications team and with us to get things like that resolved.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Any other questions before we move on?
I'm just gonna say, I just put in the chat link,
Mhm.
the link that was sent to me by the Circle K district administrator, where you can just click on, you can go to you can go to K Kids, Builders Club, et cetera, to see the list of clubs, advisors, that kind of stuff right on there. So I'm trying to connect so I can see, like, if I have a club that has a Builders Club, that's a good club to maybe look at starting a K Kids club.
Mhm.
So I was trying to do those connections. I am moving into the realm of that. I'm doing both K Kids and Builders Club this 24-25. So, and I'm also a K Kids or a Key Club faculty advisor, and I work with Circle K. So I'm kind of, and we're trying to build Builders Clubs this year too. So in the division I'm at, so there's a lot of stuff going on, but if we can make some connections about where there's already a club, you know, a service leadership program, then those are key places to start K Kids.
Ooh,
Well,
good lead.
thank you so much. You are moving us right. That's a great
Mhm.
introduction, Becky, to our next topic, which is the responsibility of opening new clubs.
Hey, Luana, I've had my hand up for quite a while.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
so sorry. Yes.
So, hey, everybody, this is Michelle Studi Campbell. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Work on those reports, work with IT to see exactly which reports the district administrators have to, and get you that information. Know which reports will get you those faculty advisors so you can reach out. And then on the newsletters, we pull, and I think Michelle Shilton wrote this in the chat, we pull a new updated list every month. So as you add new clubs or switch advisors or whatnot, everybody needs to read amazing newsletters. So sorry I was a little tardy joining the call. I was at our elementary school talking to middle school parents about Builders Club, which
Oh.
begins on Thursday at our school. So
Yay.
Thank you, Michelle. We're going to talk about reports in just a minute. District administrators are responsible for promoting the program in order to grow new clubs and for supporting new clubs through the chartering process. There are several activities related to the responsibility of opening new clubs. Find opportunities to share information about the program with potential host sites. This means school districts, individual schools, youth organizations, community centers, libraries, even museums. Becky can tell you about that.
Yeah. Great
and other locations. Use the resources we've provided for you to make your job easier. Resources like the K Kids promotional video on the website, and we'll send you that link in the email tomorrow. Find opportunities to share information about the program with Kiwanis clubs to raise their interest in sponsoring a K Kids club. Large Kiwanis clubs with more resources and those that sponsor other SLPs but not a K Kids club may be a good place to start. Use the What is K Kids presentation that we created or updated last year that's available on the website for promoting sponsorship. And also use the recently revised frequently asked questions that are available through the About section of the website to help you answer clubs' most often asked questions. Administrators can also assist the beginning relationship between a potential host site and the Kiwanis Club that's considering sponsorship by checking in with each partner and helping with any issues to ensure the chartering process is moving along. Finally, download and analyze reports to help you identify past clubs that may want to become active again. and geographic areas for potential club growth. The K-Kids Club Information Report found under district reports on Kiwanis.org shows inactive clubs. So follow up with sites of former clubs or the sponsoring Kiwanis clubs to see why the clubs became inactive and if you can assist in reactivating. Also use this report to look for towns, cities, regions, in areas that don't have any K-Kids clubs and create a plan to reach out to possible sites and Kiwanis clubs in those areas. Once a club has become inactive for 2 years, it will be moved to charter revoked status. We will email administrators a charter revoked list in the fall so that you can contact those clubs to find out why they stopped operating and if you can help them recharter. Lisa, can you help Don enter? He's in the waiting room. So now, wondering if you have any questions or thoughts about opening new clubs that you want to share. And I'm sorry, I actually can't see people's raising their hands. So if you just want to speak out. Anyone? Okay, let's move on then. Lisa, can't hear you. Thank you.
So ambassadorship, another responsibility, means administrators should be advocates for the program, represent the program at district events, and serve as the primary go-to person for the K-Kids in the district. Ways you can fill your ambassador responsibilities include getting to know and maintain positive relationships with the governor-elect, the secretary, the youth protection manager, and other SLP administrators. Attend district events, mid-year conferences, and district convention, and provide information and make a presentation or do training at these events when possible. The other option is to promote K-Kids throughout the district, write social media posts, news articles, and information for the district and/or Kiwanis Club's websites, and contact news outlets in your district to share K-Kids stories. Are there any questions about ambassadorship? Let's see if anyone's raising hands here.
I will just ask, it's hard for me, let me put my camera back on, to do that at our district conventions because they don't have, I mean, we have very limited time frames for breakout sessions. And, you know, nobody goes to the table to look at stuff, but I've really never been able to get it and be an actual session about it. Just saying that.
Other people, what have others' experiences been? Does anyone else have comments for how they get time at the district conference? Becky.
I can tell. Well, we hooked up with the service leadership program. So we literally had the Circle K governor there. We had the Key Club governor there helping present. Then we had our Action Club administrator, K-Kids, and Builders Club. And they had a 45-minute session that everybody had like a part, and they had a PowerPoint that kind of helped kind of transition and gave us the time. So they try and make sure in Wisconsin, Upper Michigan that we have that ability to do that. But we combine it.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Steve.
We did that in.
Go ahead, Steve.
This is Steve from the Carolinas. We just had our district convention, and I had 2 presentations. The first one, both of them was set up as roundtables, though. And the first one, I think, worked very well. We had SLPs all the way through the key clubs as well, between Builders Club and K Kids, because the situations, I've been an advisor for all three levels, and the idea of principals not being supportive or not being able to find a faculty advisor. So that's what we roundtabled, and how do we come up with solutions? And I think it worked very well. But we have a district education committee and a particular person. So if anyone's interested in presenting at mid-year, we'll have 3 to 5 concurrent sessions going on at one time, depending on which what you have, what they have available. But generally 3 to 5. So it works out very well. And the second session was not as good. It was more for starting a K Kids or a Builders Club. We only had about 7 or 8. But we set it up the same way, and it actually worked out very well for people who were thinking about starting it up and how to do it. So it was a good way to share information and present information to them. And plus, they all wanted to get my email stuff because I have a ton of data for them.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. That was helpful. Anyone else, Becky?
Well, the other thing is at district convention, we had a Kiwanis family luncheon. So they allowed, we had a K-Kid representative, one of the members speak for they had up to 5 minutes. Same with Builders Club. They had somebody from Action Club. And then again, they had the governor, the Kiwanis, or the Key Club and Circle K governor assertive. But that was nice because I kind of coached my 2 people. I had the K-Kids and the Builders Club person. Literally, they blew the adults out of the water with their enthusiasm. And so, and challenged to start clubs. So it makes a difference when they can hear from the kids.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Very good point.
So moving on, thank you for all of those stories and what's worked for you and for sharing. Moving on to the next point, district administrators are the primary link between Kiwanis International staff and your K-Kids clubs and district staff. So there are a number of important liaison activities, and some of these you can place on your calendar. First, encourage Kiwanis clubs to pay renewal fees at the beginning of the school year. The Kiwanis Club secretaries are your point of contact for that. In late October and late February, follow up with Kiwanis clubs that have not paid K-Kids club renewal fees. You can find out which clubs are unpaid by downloading the paid membership report from the district reports webpage on Kiwanis.org. Attend Kiwanis District Administrator chats. Thank you for coming today. We offer these several times a year with our staff. New administrators can also find and view recorded training presentations like basic information about K-Kids clubs and being an advisor on the district administrator webpage of K-Kids. So I'm sorry, being a district administrator. There is also a basic presentation about being an advisor on the advisor webpage. Work with Kiwanis staff to solve clubs issues like billing or invoicing problems or issues with program kit shipping or background checks, those kinds of things. We also appreciate your help when we reach out to ask you for information about your clubs or to provide feedback on different issues. The SLP staff and Kiwanis are always interested in sharing stories, in sharing the stories that you tell us about your club's accomplishments through newsletters and presentations. So please email us with those stories or send them through the Share Your Story link at the bottom of our newsletters. And also, if you see news articles that are published, please send them to us. Learn how Kiwanis's youth protection policies apply to advisors. And of course, the key person in your district is a youth protection manager if you have one. So work with them to share this information. Our colleague Melissa McMahon will be speaking with you shortly to give you some specifics. Keep your background check and youth protection training up to date. If you have questions about that, about your status, please reach out to Jenny Najib at Kiwanis. A number of you know Jenny. And you're supposed to renew those every 2 years. All administrators must sign a Kiwanis Code of Ethics and Conduct annually. I think those of you who've been here this is your second or third year, you know that we started that last year. So that outlines the expectations of DA behavior. So does anyone have a question or a thought about your role as a liaison with Kiwanis International?
Luana, does that form that you just talked about, that get sent to us, or are we supposed to go look for that somewhere?
We'll be one of our staff members will be communicating with you about that, Gina.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Pretty soon here.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Okay.
Sorry. District administrators can oversee a K-Kids committee of adults to help carry out district responsibilities for K-Kids. Some districts have an SLP committee instead, which helps to support all district administrators and their SLP programs. Having a committee dedicated to your club or all SLP club lines is recommended, but not required. Only some districts have these committees. If you have or will form a K-Kids committee, there are things to accomplish. Recruit committee members. Remember when recruiting to find volunteers with skills you need. Assign members specific responsibilities and provide training. For effective committee work, match volunteers with areas of responsibility and tasks that will use their strengths. Guide and support members as they carry out their responsibilities and help you to meet the district's goals for K-Kids. And SLP committee members must complete a background check and youth protection training courses. Please remember to share a list of your members' first and last names, email addresses, and member ID numbers with Kiwanis International with your youth protection associate, Jenny Nahib. I'm going to say Jenny's last name wrong, who will help with this process. So let me know if there are any questions. You have any questions about committee leadership?
I put it in the chat, but just curious who on the call actually does have either a K-Kids committee or an SLP committee at their district, and how's that working for you all?
So this is Michelle. We started an SLP committee for the first time after our meeting in Vegas, I guess a year and a half ago. And we have the administrators, and then Key Club's the only one in our district that has more than one administrator. They've got an admin and an assistant administrator and another individual that helps with committees. And then we included youth protection and our governor and governor-elect, and we meet quarterly, which has been kind of fun. We've had some issues with turnover and other things, but we've done a much better job of all being present for everyone's conferences and conventions, and we even have an all SLP day coming up at our local amusement park where everyone's going to be invited, and the Key Club board is going to sort of help run it. And so it's something small, but it's been great. I think we've cleaned up our youth protection list just by us all being involved and understanding what's going on, and have started coming up with some ideas about how to get all of our SLPs working together. So it's been a nice little, I'd say, shot of energy into all the programs.
Great. Thanks for sharing.
Well, thanks so much for sharing. And I'm just going to wrap up here. We hope that you'll join us in January for the next administrator chat, where we'll hear from experienced administrators and service leadership program staff about effective practices for growing new clubs, supporting existing clubs, communications, and more about your role. Watch for an email in October asking for volunteers to talk about best practices during the session, and also for a survey to share your thoughts on best practices. So now I am going to turn it over to Melissa McMahon, who's the SLP Education and Training Administrator, who's going to talk about Kiwanis Youth Protection policies.
Sounds great. Luana, I just sent you a request to share my screen.
I think it came to me and I approved it.
Okay, let's see if this. Okay, looks good. Welcome, everyone. Hello, it's nice to see some familiar faces. My name is Melissa McMahon, and I am the Service Leadership Programs Training and Administrator of Training and Education Administrator. So it's nice to see some familiar faces. And for those of you who I haven't met, or maybe we've emailed and I just haven't seen faces. So I appreciate Lisa and Luana inviting me to talk tonight about youth protection. Many of you are familiar with our youth protection, Kiwanis Youth Protection. So I just want to kind of highlight some reminders, highlight some policies as you go into your program year as we kick off the October 1 program year. So Kiwanis takes youth protection very seriously, and we know that the more that our adults are educated, they know what can and can't be behavior, can and can't be done around the youth that we serve in our programs. And so from the highest level of Kiwanis International, through the district administrators, your level, as well as at the club level, everyone plays a role in youth protection. And so the main goals that Kiwanis has is protecting youth from predators. And that may be something that is, inappropriate behavior to the spectrum of sexual abuse. So there is a wide range of different behaviors that we are trying to protect our youth in our care. We also want to provide education and training so that working with the youth in our programs, that you have the latest information or latest trends that we have in youth protection, and that we're sharing that with you. And then also we want to provide the youth in our programs with resources and with training so that they can be advocates for themselves and also for their peers, because oftentimes a peer is someone who is going to self-report before they may talk to an adult. So making sure that our students are aware that we do care about them and we do want to protect them and have resources available is important. So Kiwanis structures our youth protection, our goals and our guidelines and our policies around the ABCs. So accessible policies and training. We have background checks that serving in our SLPs, and then culture of care. So our main goals are that we want to identify any concerning behaviors and then look and monitor the youth that are in our care and making sure that we're mitigating any kind of risky behaviors when there isn't supervision involved, or also making sure that we're all modeling appropriate behaviors. And then also reporting emergencies or any kind of red flag instances or inappropriate behaviors. So Kiwanis has our youth protection policies you can find on our website. So that second screen, or that second icon with the boy in the backpack, that's our youth protection website. And so I would recommend, if you haven't been out to our website in the last year, that you go there, you download our youth protection policies, you take a look at it. Youth Protection Week is coming up in the second week of October. It is a week dedicated that Kiwanis dedicates to educating and encouraging our clubs to educate themselves. And so sharing that youth protection policy, along with we have slide decks and even a recording on that website as well. And we will be having some live webinars that you can join and sign up for. If you click on the website, and there's a Youth Protection Week URL link that is specifically for the second week of October, the 7th through 11th. So I would definitely recommend that when you do your newsletter for September and October, that you keep that in mind. We would love the plug and the promotion, because one of the requirements for youth protection is that clubs review our youth protection policy annually. So we could really use your help in connecting with the clubs and reminding them about that as well. We also provide free training through a Presidium Academy license. We ask, there's requirements for our advisors and also chaperones to take either 6 courses for advisors and DAs, or 3 courses if you're a chaperone. And those are free. You can log in and take them at your own pace over time, and they're good for 2 years. And then many of you likely attended your local district convention for Kiwanis, and I know that many of the district's youth protection managers held seminars and held trainings. So there are additional training and resources. And so your youth protection manager for each of your districts, if you don't know who that is, we just recently posted a new list on the website. And if you don't know, reach out to them. I loved the idea that Michelle's district, Michelle Hoffner's district, is meeting quarterly. Introduce yourself to the youth protection manager, invite them to, one of your DA calls, so that they have an opportunity to talk to the advisors in your district. That would be so great to continue that conversation, collaboration, and educating of your advisors. So understanding policies. So looking at the requirements for youth protections for advisors, member and non-member chaperones. So to be an official chaperone, and when we say that, an official chaperone is someone who is going to have privacy, access, and control over those K-Kids. So that might be a Kiwanis volunteer, that might be a parent chaperone. So they must be 21 years or older. And some districts, the age requirement is 25. So definitely check your bylaws and your policies to see what the chaperone age is for your district. Must maintain a clear Kiwanis background check. So to have it on file and good for 2 years in our system. Like I said, reviewing the policy, completing the Presidium courses, and then also thinking about your ability to supervise and monitor and check in with members, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a service project, that chaperone is actually having supervision and making sure that those members are getting picked up by their parents, or they're getting on the school bus, whatever type of situation or event that you're having. And then we also look at, when it comes to chaperones, ratios. So many schools have, different ratio numbers. For Kiwanis, for a Kiwanis sponsored or for an SLP sponsored event, so a K Kids sponsored event, or we would ask that you would have at least one background checked and trained chaperone to 50 members. Now, as I said, schools will have different ratios, and you want to follow their policies. But as if it was only a K Kids sponsored event, and you're off school premises, and you want to meet that ratio of one chaperone to 50 SLP members. And since K Kids don't typically go overnight, I did include the adult ratio for overnight events, but I know that typically K Kids events aren't overnight to meet the 1 to 10 ratio. So it's really that 1 to 50 that you need to be aware of. But like I said, if it's always better to have more than that if you have a number of volunteers. So here is a scenario that if the club goes off campus to a service event, kind of what I was just saying. So Michelle was talking about a service event for the whole K family. So everybody's gonna, be at a certain park or whatever situation. And at Kiwanis Club, volunteers, members' parents, and faculty advisors attend and help. So depending on the number of K Kids attending or SLP members attending, because these policies aren't just for K Kids, they're for all SLP members, the chaperone ratios should be met. And it should be 1 to 50. And again, you can have more than that. We're just saying that, at the minimum. And again, the official chaperone must be 21 years or older. You all should, they should follow the local school policies, youth protection. Not all Kiwanis members. So if there are other Kiwanis members that are attending this event, they don't all have to have a background check. It would be those the volunteers, the faculty advisor, or the parent who is accompanying those K Kids to their event and who are responsible for that group of 20, 30, 50 members, and that they're, having supervision and that they're checking on them. And I did want to, this has been brought up in the past, but just a reminder, our faculty advisors, since they're already getting background checks through their school system, if they're meeting, if you're faculty advisors for your different clubs are only staying on campus, or primarily they're just staying on campus, they're staying on school grounds, they don't go, they're not going off the school grounds, that's when say a Kiwanis volunteer would take students, then that faculty advisor doesn't have to have a Kiwanis background check. That's when their own school background check is sufficient. But when that faculty advisor is going off school grounds or in going to a different kind of event. So say you're going to go volunteer at a food bank. It would be just the same as if that faculty advisor were, going to a zoo. There's all different kinds of background checks that are needed for different types of activities. And so if it is a Kiwanis sponsored event, we are required to have all those designated chaperones to have our background check, because that's when our liability insurance would cover any issues. And when it comes to our background checks, I did want to say that Safe Visitor Solutions is a provider that we use, and you can easily, if you're a Kiwanis member, you can, oh, Michelle, did you want to say something?
So Melissa, after you finish with this slide, let's pause and take some questions. I saw people really processing that last slide. So let's finish with Safe Visitor and then we'll pause for questions.
Okay, I can go back if you want me to.
Nope, finish this one.
Okay. So background checks are good for 2 years. if you are having an event coming up, it's always good to ensure and verify that the chaperones and the advisors that are going to be dedicated to a particular event, that they have their background check renewed, that it's current. It may take up to 2 weeks to process, so it's always good to look at those. And again, Youth Protection Week is also a great opportunity for all of you as or DAs to make sure that you're looking at the advisors in your district to see if, how many of them need background checks. And then for those that might be in California, there's a completely different process outside of our Safe Visitor solution. And we actually have a dedicated website on the Youth Protection page where you can find more information about that. But yeah, I'm happy to take if there are some questions. Sorry, I missed the ones in the chat. I also will say that if you're for the background checks, that the process, there's a link that you can either initiate yourself within the Kiwanis Connect. A club secretary can initiate it, member services can initiate it, and Jenny Najib can initiate it if you're a US member. If you are Canadian, we accept the Canadian background checks, the vulnerable sector checks. So we ask that you get those and send those to us. And then if you are an international member, we ask that you email our background checks at kiwanis.org, and we send you a separate international link that you can use to process your background check.
All right, is everybody clear on when faculty members or chaperones need background checks and training, and what kind of the policy, and not only the policy, how to apply that in the real world when we all plan trips and field trips and so forth? So, all right, well done, Melissa. No questions.
And again, I'm going to put my email at the end, and I'm happy to answer different questions that you might have. Culture of care. So when I was talking earlier about educating our students and teaching them how to be advocates for their peers and helping prevent any peer-to-peer abuse, that falls under our initiative called Culture of Care. And so we have some older, for high school and for college, we have some culture of care curriculum, but for our K Kids and our Builders Club, Lisa and her and staff have done Project Happiness. So some of you may be familiar with Project Happiness. There's some resources that are on the K Kids and Builders Club website, as well as some bullying prevention meeting kits. So there is a K Kids meeting kit that you can find, as well as there's a Builders Club one as well.
Yeah, we have a couple videos that are probably a little more updated than some of the Project Happiness, where we spoke with our Circle K International and Key Club International leadership and talked to them about when they were in middle school and elementary school and what it meant to be a leader and about being an upstander. And so it's probably time that we update those again, but they're a great resource that's probably less than 5 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also when it comes to reporting, or if you hear of any kind of inappropriate behavior from another Kiwanian, or someone, if a student or if a K-Kids member reports maybe a parent or someone that they're interacting with, if you see something, hear something, say something, we want you to report sooner rather than later. And so we actually have a helpline. It is a toll-free helpline in the US, and it is you can put this number in your phone, and it is staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week by intake professionals. They're actually the Presidium staff that we've used their education and their resources. They have triage and legal intake specialists, so they can give recommendations and helpful guidance on what your state or what your area, how you need to report. But definitely, if there is something that is illegal happening, or if a child is unsafe, contact your local law enforcement immediately. If it's a policy violation, inappropriate behavior, we ask that you call the Youth Protection Helpline first. Instead of talking to a bunch of different people within Kiwanis and calling the governor and then calling, your local club, call the Youth Protection Helpline first. They're really helpful in saying how things should be handled and what steps. Those calls are actually routed to like Michelle and I, and also legal counsel David Kress, so that we can actually staff those, follow up and talk to different individuals that are involved. Now, if someone wants to be anonymous, so say this is a parent wants to be anonymous, though we do accept those calls as well. So this is a great resource, and I recommend that you put it in your phone in case you do have a weekend event and you're not near your computer. So again, our Youth Protection Helpline is 866-607-SAFE, and you can call it anytime. I can be reached. My email is mmcmahon@kiwanis.org. If you have any youth protection policy questions, or not sure how to set up or access Presidium courses, so each of the district administrators of all the SLPs, I know that Jenny Najib is reaching out to them and making sure that people have completed their courses. So if you're not sure if you've completed your courses or not, you might send an email to Youth Protection. And then Jenny is our great resource background check associate who helps with any kind of technical needs related to background checks as well. So I will end there. Are there any questions for me and again, this is the short version. I can go on and give different nuances and go into more details of all the different types of policies that we have, but I wanted to make this short and sweet for all of you.
Any questions before Melissa leaves us, before we wrap up? Well, again, if you're thinking about it and you really want some more details, do join the October 9th event. Right before we wrap up, I'm just wondering if Michelle Studi Campbell would like to make any closing remarks.
So I just want to say thank you so much. You are our first district administrator meeting of the new year, and we're actually like 3 weeks early on the new year, right? Because we all know the new year is October 1st. But thank you all so much for what you do. I mean, K-Kids is near and dear to my heart, and we have an exciting year planned. And I want to give a special thank you to Joe Schwartz for being on the call as a champion of our programs and newly elected Kiwanis International trustee. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, DAs, for committing to another year. We are so excited to work with you, and I hope you have a good night. Do watch for that email tomorrow. It will have links to everything and the contact information for Melissa as well. And reach out to us if you have any questions.
And super quick, the only SLP besides Key Club to have put together 3 consecutive years of growth is K-Kids. So K-Kids and Key Club, you guys are really rocking and rolling. So thank you for all you do to make that happen.
Super.
Good night.
Thanks.